Let's talk about something fundamental: justice. Should it have a price tag? It's a huge question, and today we're going to dive into how one country, Bangladesh, tried to get rid of that price tag for good by building a national legal aid system. This is a question that every society really has to wrestle with. And back in the year 2000, Bangladesh decided to put its answer down on paper, creating a formal system designed to say a definite no to justice based on how much money you have. So what exactly is legal aid, according to the system they built? Let's break it down. Okay, so here's the official definition from their Legal Aid Services Act. Now, that might sound a little formal, but think about what it's really saying. It's this powerful mission statement, a promise to make the entire justice system accessible to everyone, no matter what their situation is. And this wasn't just some nice idea. The act actually created a massive, comprehensive, nationwide structure to make it all happen. And I mean, on paper, this was a really solid plan. The act created this central body, the National Legal Aid Services Organization, or NLASO for short. And its whole job, its entire mission, was to provide legal aid to every single corner of the country. And when I say far-reaching, I mean it. Look at this structure. It's designed to cascade all the way from a national board at the very top right down to union committees at the local village level. The whole point was to create this safety net that could, in theory, catch every single citizen. So how's it supposed to work in practice? Well, it seems pretty straightforward, right? If you're eligible, you apply. The local committee takes a look, they assign you a lawyer from an approved list, and boom, the government pays the bills. It's meant to be this clear, simple pathway to getting the help you need. All right, so that's the promise, that's the blueprint. But what about the reality on the ground? What does it actually look like for an ordinary person trying to get justice? Okay, let's start where a lot of people start, with the police. A big nationwide survey in 2015 asked people about the biggest problems they faced. And the results are, well, they're pretty eye-opening. A staggering 58% of people cited corruption. And almost half, 46%, said dealing with the police was just too expensive. And the report that published all this data? It did not pull any punches. It says, flat out, that corruption isn't just some small problem. It's a significant barrier that literally stops people from even trying to get help in the first place. And okay, what if you get past that first hurdle and your case actually makes it to the formal courts? Well, the story doesn't get much better. Look at this. Again, the top two concerns are cost and corruption. We're talking about nearly a third of people pointing to these as huge roadblocks. And this next number, wow, this really puts the strain on the system into perspective. 2.8 million. That was the backlog of cases they were dealing with. So what does that mean in real terms? It means massive delays. We're talking about some civil trials taking more than 4 years just to be finalized. So when you're faced with all of that, the cost, the corruption, the years of waiting, is it really any surprise that a lot of people just opt out? They turn instead to this traditional, informal justice system known as shalish. Why? Because it's quick, it's cheap, and it happens right there in their own community. It's just more accessible. But all of these issues we've talked about, the cost, the delays, they all funnel down into what is probably the single biggest hurdle for the government's official legal aid program. Get ready for this number: 97%. That is the percentage of people surveyed in Bangladesh who had no idea that government legal aid even existed. Let me say that again, 97%. Just let that sink in for a second. You have this massive, complex, nationwide system designed from the top down, specifically to help the most vulnerable people, and it is functionally invisible to almost all of them. And of course, this complete lack of awareness has a huge effect on what people actually do. When a crime happens, where do they go? They're way more likely to go to their village elders or their family than to any formal state institution. Just look at the courts. A tiny 2% of people report a crime there directly. So, let's pull all these threads together. What's the big picture here? What does all of this really tell us? What we have is this incredible gap, right? On one side, you've got this really ambitious law promising justice for everyone. You have a well-designed national organization set up to do the job. But on the other side, the public sees the formal system as corrupt and way too expensive. And that legal aid safety net that's supposed to catch them, it's almost completely invisible. And that leaves us with this really challenging question. If a right exists, but nobody knows about it, is it really a right at all? Because for justice to be real, it can't just be something written down in a law book or drawn in an organizational chart. People have to know about it, they have to trust it, and it has to be truly, genuinely accessible to every single person it's meant to protect.